say that in about March of 14, whenever you got down to a minus 34,000 for that first month, that at least you should have saw it then. You know, whenever you started out January 13 with 453,000, and you know you got first of January down to 91, I would hope if you had saw
Somebody
those
would've been
numbers
saying
that
something.
somebody would have been saying something.
So what we're trying to achieve is, so I understand it, we're trying to loosen up some of these funds and get some money so we can get it headed in the right direction to overcome some of this expense that we're having for the water.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is fix this problem from the top without raising rates to begin with.
Get it down, so
Yeah.
then we can look at what we gotta have for a balance.
Then we can go in the next layer and see if there's, you know, there's something else of the like that is there that we can do. You know, my thought is you go as far as you can without raising rates.
But that's why he wants to keep looking at it, because he doesn't have all the data yet to figure out what we need to do about that.
So that brings me back to we need, I think we need 3 votes tonight. The first one being a vote to support,
Make the changes.
support these 5 bullet points, these 5 immediate changes that are being recommended in this report.
I'll make a motion that we, follow the recommendations of Mr. Henderson's for these immediate actions.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Ms. Hall? Anybody?
As outlined in this document? or
As-
Yeah.
As outlined in the report on inaccurate financial reporting and pertaining to wastewater funds.
You want to make your
Just to
motion,
be certain.
add that to your motion.
Yes. What you just said.
Got it.
Got it? Would you repeat it back?
Follow the recommendations of Mr. Henderson as outlined in the bullet points in the report of inaccurate financial reporting as pertaining to those water funds.
Very good. Any further discussion?
What is in the sewer surplus fund? You say delete that, what's there?
If you look on the back,
The very back page.
yeah.
That'll basically, that surplus really should be flowing to the general fund, and it hasn't been. It's been being held in this restricted.
It's that 142,000,
Yeah.
142?
889.51.
And if you look down at the very bottom, I'm sorry,
No,
there's
that's
a
right.
motion, but if you look down at the very bottom comment that I have, it tells you that the balances of some of these overfunded or unnecessary accounts that are set up is $198,000 roughly. And the breakdown is $100K of that needs to be in to start the unrestricted fund for the enterprise side. We can use $73K to reimburse some of the city funds, which I think is somewhere around $204,000 that the enterprise owes the city at this point. And $25K for part of the engineering, some other things on the I-9 is how that breakdown would go.
And do we know how it happened that we joined these funds together? Who did that?
Was anyone on council at that time?
I was on when it started, but not when they completed doing it. They were still supposed to be reported separate.
You're supposed to be
Was-
just an accounting.
I mean, the accountant, the auditors had said that it was okay, and it would work.
They
I wasn't
said,
here when they did it.
they said there was nothing, illegal about it. He just said it was antiquated, it was in the report. He said it could be done better and simplified.
What he actually said is we're not following, that there was nothing illegal, but we're not following,
But actually, I think that there's some comments on this back page too that Don probably needs to
You know,
look
he's got
over
some
too.
things where it's marked as no
Right,
longer
but that's
suitable.
the results of doing this. That's just showing you in a graphic of what, when you do these things, this is what the result is. So these are the 5 items that we're voting on.
Cause this way, after I vote on this, I can go home and study what I did. Because that's basically what we're doing.
Then let's be clear, I think you're right, I think maybe we need an amendment to the motion we specified the bullet points. I think we need to amend that to be the bullet points and the, resulting actions on the summary chart.
Because it's here and on that page.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna end up with. This is what you gotta do to get here.
Yeah. I'll amend my
Good.
motion.
To include the summary chart.
Just include some.
Okay, so I need a second on that amendment.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Oakley?
Yeah.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, very good. That provides some immediate relief, and we should be able to start digging in a little deeper over the next month or two.
Before we go any further, there was a statement made when we were in discussion, I didn't wanna explain it at that time, but when we talked about, the budget not reflecting properly the amounts and, or the accounts and everything, but then we talk about general fund money that's been used by the enterprise. But then it's also stated that we were using enterprise funds to do things in the general, so that's gotten, I know there was some discussion, how does that happen, that we were both ways.
It's real simple. It appeared, the budget that was being presented, that when we had those discussions, so we can't do this, and we actually had the administration go back, that time go back, the council had the administration go back and change some things so that it brought, it changed that result. That number was not reliable because it did not include expense line items for funding some of these accounts that were required, that we were funding, that we were doing it, it just didn't show up on the budget, so that left the budget, the health and enterprise side looking
Good.
rosier than it was. In fact, it was showing a surplus, and then we were using that surplus to buy police cars.
I get it. I was just a little, not sure.
But I think the point I was trying to make a while ago, is we're not sure about those figures. How are we sure about these figures that we just voted on?
I think it's clear you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you voted on it.
That's what.
Well, no, I think that I think that that's a good question, Don. And
Yeah.
what I have is, these figures were drawn from, these statements, so, from actual transactions. I don't know how you can get any more accurate than what it is. There may be within the numbers that the water office manager did, it may be a few dollars one way or the other. That's the reason we're having the city clerk do the city side to run a check and balance against that.
He's talking about real dollars in accounts that are
Yes.
showing up. The budget isn't actually attached to those real dollars. The budget were just figures that were put in and they did not actually reflect the
So,
true.
Right.
we don't think there's been an accounting error. There was simply expense line items left off of the report. Just that one error is what we're talking about. It wasn't a mathematical error. It was just simply that an expense of operating our enterprise was not being included in the budget.
Like you paid a cable bill every month, but don't write the check from them.
what I said, you know, the one report that you have, the one page that you have in this report is that the water office manager went back to the January 2012 date and done every transaction, in or out, and come up with those balances.
So they're trying to recreate that backwards so that they can find that.
I mean, I know it's difficult to go back and reconstruct something that you
Sure.
just got bits and pieces of, but.
Because
Well,
this
and that's
says
just-
one thing, you know, your budget says one thing, but they actually looked at the accounts and the transactions in the accounts.
Because it wasn't being done before, it wasn't being accounted for from each side before. Now, I mean, and so we had to go back and play catch-up basically for 2.5 years.
But that's only relevant, Don, it's only relevant in as much as how much is wastewater and how much is water.
No, well,
Oh,
no, it's
no,
relevant
I'm
of,
sorry, I
of
take that
the
back.
city
It also
side
has-
and
it also
and
has
the
the
enterprise
general,
side.
You
No.
mean like two funds, right?
Those two funds you mean.
The city's fund and the water
Correct,
fund.
correct. I apologize.
How far back, you know, you said 2012, when did this ordinance go into effect, and how long has this account been, supposed to been separate?
Well, it looks to me like 2012, January of 2012 is whenever they started the combined unrestricted fund. Before that, it was separated. So that's where they went back to, as you see on the report. They went back to the starting balance, what the enterprise side put in to this combined unrestricted fund. And then they done every transaction up till the end of December of 14.
So that's all the action that I think we wanna take tonight on the fund piece. But I wanna come back to the LP2 piece, because this is really the urgency, in the whole picture. And we need a motion, to accept one of these, funding options for LP2 and water repairs. So that's the first piece that we need. But let me ask this, in general, should we lean towards flattening out the effect on the rate, so people don't have as high an impact on the rate? Should we lean that way, or should we lean towards spending the least amount of money? Those are the two directions we can go, right? And then there's some middle ground options. So how does the council feel just in the middle? Do you guys have feelings that one of those two directions carries more weight? Or are they even in your mind?
I mean, obviously the preference, to me, the preference would be the option that costs the least amount of money overall. But without knowing if we're gonna have to do an additional rate increase, depending on what you find otherwise. You know, that's kind of what I'm concerned about. So,
Don, you had input on that?
Well, I think that's why it would have been really difficult for Mr. Giddy to come up with a planned program, not knowing the figures, because we're still discussing the figures tonight, what we wanna.
how many years did he have to know what was going on?
Sorry, we're getting off on this.
Yeah.
I don't think we're talking about Mr. Jennings or his performance or any issue there.
This is because we can't do it on this.
We're talking about how do you wanna fund the LT2 project?
So we missed the deadline because we didn't get it funded. If you say
Instead
here
of-
that it's possible that we can get an extension for October the 16th,
It's possible, but the problem is that we don't know, and we have to move like we can't.
But
E-
even so,
Even if we got
an
that extension, it's unlikely we could get anything done through SRF.
Yeah.
in-
We
in
can't get
time.
it on a
So it's
ballot.
moot.
This is the only way to go.
The only option that we have is to use some combination of our capital improvement funds and certificates of participation. And so the question is, which one of these certificates of participation do you want to use to fund this requirement by DNR?
well, it says here, because of this, we have submitted another letter requesting additional year. Well, what was the purpose of requesting additional year if it's not gonna benefit?
Because even by a few, even if we act on this right now, there is a chance that we're gonna not meet this deadline by several months. Part of that's because the UV equipment that has to be produced takes so long to produce. We're only the second ones in the state to even use it, and they're being very specific and watching this. It's taking more time. So we're gonna have a hard time making the deadline that we currently have. If we can get a year extension that alleviates that, gives us a little bit of breathing room, but it doesn't really make looking for an SRF funding of this, an option.
I thought if we could get an extension, just give us some more time to get some revenue and funds, but it wouldn't do that.
No, I have to move forward. The only reason that we're really asking for the extension is to try to stay out of even the gray area of compliance with DNR. Because I'm being told if we move as fast as we can, we're still not gonna comply with the October 15 deadline. And even if we're in progress, we should be okay, but if a letter will save us where we know we're okay, that's why we ask for it.
It's more of a backup than a benefit, you know?
They have, we have gotten feedback that as long as we've begun the project, by then we're in the process, which we will be, that we won't be in trouble, right? But we're just banking on goodwill, and I'd rather have a letter that says we're not in trouble. So that's the only reason we go for the additional year. So I have one opinion, well, it was kind of, you described the problem, you didn't feel one way or the other.
Well, I feel like right now, I feel like we need to really probably alleviate the rate increase.
You're leaning towards a flat choice. How about the rest of the council? I see, Chuck, you're shaking your head.
Yes.
You feel that way as well.
Well, I think every one of us here pretty much
Yeah.
pays for water.
So the one that alleviates the rate the most is the very last.
The last one.
last one. So unless you wanna moderate that decision in some way, your motion would be, to proceed with funding through the revised 650 20-year, 3 years interest only option.
And so basically what that means is that we're paying interest only until our existing debt service is paid off in 2017.
Our
And then
other,
we go-
what
yeah,
we water.
what we already have.
The
Or
water.
the original water bonds, the 97 and the 99 water bonds.
I make a motion that we move forward with the revised 650 20-year, 3-year interest only certificate of participation plan. I'll second the report.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Please call roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes?
Mr. Gager?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Bolton?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And then the last thing I'm aware of that we need to address tonight, really kind of came up in the last day as far as immediacy. In relation to pursuing that funding, I'd like to have a motion to go to bid on this project as soon as we possibly can. That's probably gonna happen before we meet next time, and I don't wanna have another special meeting.
Got the permits already, I know you talked about it
It's
in the process.
It's still a process, so it could happen anytime, as soon as that happens, we wanna go.
Yeah.
So I would ask, now that we know how we're gonna fund it, that we also get a motion to, take it to bid, just as soon as we
I'll make a
can.
motion that we would take this to bid as soon as possible.
Cleaner handles all that.
Motion made and seconded, discussion, yes, Cleaninger handles all of that, and will handle the competitive bidding process, for us for that piece. Though we're not using SRF funds, we are required to go through that process for that contract. Okay.
Would that project be a competitive bid?
Yes.
That's what the motion is.
So, any more discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Gay?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Booker?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, very good. We handle all the business you're aware of. Any other business from council on these topics? Motion to
I'll
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made, seconded, please call the roll.
Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Gay? Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Ms. Lewis? Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
In 2035, we're gonna be doing it.
I bought the same thing in '99 whenever I saw it in 17 and 18, you started retiring water ball in front of me.
No, it's very fun.
Well, somebody else was saying to me the other day, if you wanna see Guy laugh, tell him you're playing.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's not a very good picture.
It's like when you get married, you got that house one and all that, you go, I'll never forget that. Hey, you know, ours isn't.
What'd you do all that shit?
Big red.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's because you're,
And there's something for me to lay on. No, it was an amended motion.
it was a recommendation.
Well, next, she's seconding the amendment.
You always have to vote on the amendment, and then you go back to the discussion.
They amend the motion.
If the person who doesn't, Charlie.
I missed it all.
No, that's just because
Yeah,
I.
I gotta get you set up. I'm gonna do some work on the door to get it to close that. I'll take care of that tomorrow. Probably just a printer and maybe a scanner. Okay. Oh, it's email address. Oh, yeah, if you would, please.
Does she have time to go watch the movie?
They were supposed
That's the only two things I can think of.
Yeah, as soon as they send that message, oh, there's that.
Like, I'm coming.
Yeah, then they said, well, they're.
You leave at 12:30.
I'm coming, well, Jessica.
Yeah, and went to like, I have a quorum, I'm like, I gotta go. I really needed to go anyway.